Have you ever wondered why every time joy knocks on your door, you hesitate to open it? Why do you flinch when peace tries to embrace you? Why do you run away when love stretches its arms toward you? Why do you sabotage your own happiness? Hello, my dear myself. Yes, you. I'm not someone else. I'm not your boss, not your parents, not your lover, not your friend. I am you, and I've been here all this time. Did you forget I exist? Did you forget the sound of your own soul? You listen to everyone. You let them fill your mind with noise, opinions, doubts, commands. You let them tell you what success looks like, what failure means, what kind of love you deserve, what kind of life you should live. But me? You forgot to listen to me, the quiet one, the patient one, the voice that lives inside your bones, the whisper beneath the scream, the stillness behind the storm, the real you. I'm still here. I never left. Even when you ran away from yourself, I stayed. Even when you betrayed me, I waited. Even when you buried me under guilt, under shame, under fear, I kept breathing, softly, silently, waiting for you to hear me again. If these words touched something silent within you, if they helped you remember the voice you forgot to hear, then don't keep this moment to yourself. Let it reach those who've also been searching for a way back home to their own soul. Like this video. Subscribe so we can meet here again, where truth speaks softly, and share it with someone whose heart may be waiting for a voice like this, hidden beneath all the noise. So, are you listening now? Please, just for a moment, listen. I know why you hurt. I know every crack in your spirit. I was there when you stopped trusting people. I remember the first time someone broke a promise to you. You were just a child, and they told you it's not a big deal. But it was. It was a huge deal, because that's the moment you learn not to trust happiness, not to trust joy, because every time you smiled, the pain came after. So you made a decision, didn't you? You decided to hurt yourself before the world could. You thought, if I ruin it first, no one else can take it away. That's how it started. The self-sabotage, self-blame. The silent destruction of every beautiful thing that tried to grow inside you. Why do you do it? Why do you destroy what makes you smile? Why do you reject the love that sees you? Why do you fear the light that warms you? Because you don't feel worthy. Somewhere deep inside, you believe you don't deserve it. But listen to me. Are you listening now? You were never unworthy, not even once. The world told you that. Your trauma told you that. The people who didn't know how to love you told you that. But I never did. I've always known your worth. Because I am you, your truth, your wisdom, your sacred center. And now, can I ask something of you? Not for me, but for you. Close your eyes. Yes, now. Put the phone down. Turn the screen away. Let the light that steals your sleep fade into the background. You don't need to watch me, because I'm not here. On this screen, I don't live in pixels. I don't glow in artificial light. I live within you, in the rhythm of your breath, in the weight of your silence, in the soft echo between your thoughts. Feel me, don't see me. I am not something you can watch. I am someone you must feel. This is not a video. This is a return to yourself. So now just listen. Let your eyes rest. Let your body soften. Let your spirit stretch. Let the darkness behind your eyelids become home. Because in that darkness, I glow. Because in that stillness, I speak. And if you are still here, still breathing, still listening, then you're already healing. Not all healing makes noise. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to stay, to sit with the ache instead of running, to whisper, I'm still here, even when everything inside wants to disappear. That's courage. Not the kind they teach you in classrooms. The kind that lives in silence, in solitude. In stillness, I know it's hard. I know the world taught you to numb it, escape it, cover it up, with distractions, with achievements, with people who don't really see you. But not today, not now. Right now, we're not escaping. We're feeling, we're facing, we're remembering. Do you remember what it felt like? To laugh without guilt, to rest without earning it, to be loved without proving anything. You didn't lose that version of you. You buried it. And now, together, we're unearthing it gently, tenderly, without shame. This is the part they don't talk about. The messy, holy, sacred returning, the reclaiming of self, of soul, sanity. You want to know why you sabotage your happiness? Because happiness feels like foreign territory. Because the sadness, the chaos, the struggle that's familiar, that's what you've known. And the human heart, it often chooses familiar pain over unfamiliar peace. But I am here to remind you, peace is not the enemy. Joy is not a trap. Love is not a trick. You can trust it. You can trust me. You can trust yourself again. It will feel unnatural at first, like wearing shoes 2 sizes too big. But you'll grow into this version of you, the one who chooses softness over survival, the one who pauses instead of panics, the one who believes they deserve to be okay. Are you listening now? Please, just breathe. Let the tears fall if they need to. Let the truth surface, even if it trembles. Let yourself be held by your own presence, because the truth is, no one else can rescue you the way you can. No one else can give you back the pieces you gave away. No one else can speak to the place in you that aches the most. You've called suffering fate, and I understand, because that's what you were taught. That's my job. That's what I'm here for, and I'm not going anywhere. You don't need to earn your own compassion. You just need to return to it. And here we are, you and me, together again. After all this time, so know, you're not too far gone. You're not beyond repair. You're not too broken to be loved. You're just tired. Tired of being what they needed. Tired of holding yourself together for everyone else. Tired of hiding how much it hurts. And I see that. I feel it, because I am it. I'm your exhausted truth, your sacred longing, your quiet, please don't give up. And I know. You want to feel free? Not in a loud, rebellious way, but in a gentle, quiet, soul-deep way. The kind of freedom that comes from finally choosing yourself. And you can start now. Not by fixing everything, but by listening, by trusting, by honoring what you've ignored. Are you still with me? Then keep going. Don't stop now. Even if your voice shakes, even if your past screams, even if your fear rises, you've listened to the world long enough. Now, it's time to listen to the one voice that's never lied to you. Mine, yours, wires, and I'll keep speaking. As long as you keep listening, you thought it was weakness when you broke. But breaking was the bravest thing you ever did, because only in the breaking can the light get in. Only in the silence that follows can truth begin to whisper again. And I've been whispering. Every night you cried into your pillow, I was there. Every morning you faked a smile, I noticed. Every moment you doubted your worth, I waited. Waited for this one, this moment. Right now, where you finally stop running from me, where you finally remember that I was never the enemy. I was the voice you silenced to survive. You sabotaged your happiness because deep down, you didn't believe you deserved it. Not really. You smiled in photos. You laughed in crowds. But behind the curtains, there was a trembling soul begging to be seen, and no one saw. Not truly, but I did, because I am you, the you that never left, the you that held on while you fell apart, the you that kept breathing when it felt easier not to. I held the pieces when they shattered. I counted the nights you felt invisible, and still I stayed. You see, sabotage was never your intention. It was your protection. Because when you've been hurt enough times, happiness starts to feel like a setup, a trap, a lie waiting to collapse. So you run, not because you hate joy, but because you don't trust it. And trust, that's the wound, isn't it? Not in others, in yourself. You don't trust yourself to choose what's good for you, to stay when love is kind, to walk away when love turns cruel. You've confused comfort with connection. You've mistaken chaos for chemistry. That love must hurt. That peace must be earned. That joy is temporary. But here's what I know. That's not truth, that's trauma. And we're not living in trauma anymore. We're learning a new language, one built on presence, on permission, on peace. You can be safe now, not because the world changed, but because you did, because you're finally giving yourself the love no one else knew how to offer. And I know it's scary. I know that stillness feels like emptiness, but it's not. It's space for you to breathe, to grow, to remember. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who to be? Before you learned to apologize for your feelings? Before you dimmed your light to keep others comfortable? Before you made yourself small just to fit into places never built for you? That version of you still lives, still longs, still believes, and I do too, in you. Because I've seen the fire they tried to extinguish, the brilliance they couldn't bury, the softness they called weakness. But I know better, because I am that softness. I am your sacred strength, and I will not let you forget again. Sabotage was never your flaw. It was your scream for safety. And now you're learning you don't need to scream anymore. You can whisper, you can rest, you can stay. Are you still listening? Please don't stop now. We're so close. Close to remembering the promise you once made to yourself, that you would stop abandoning you, that you would start choosing joy even when it felt undeserved, that you would believe in beginnings again. So breathe, not the shallow breath you take when you're pretending. Breathe like someone who's safe, because you are, right now, with me, with yourself. Finally, Let it all unravel. The masks, the roles, the lies you were told about what makes you worthy. You were never meant to earn love. You are love. You carry love. You create love. And they never taught you that, did they? No, they taught you to sacrifice, to strive, to smile through the storm. But I'm teaching you something different. That rest is resistance. That self-kindness is revolution. That forgiveness of self is the beginning of everything holy. You are not selfish for choosing peace. You are not broken for needing space. You are not dramatic for feeling deeply. You are human, fully, fiercely, beautifully human. And I love that about you. I always have. Do you hear me? This is not poetry. This is a remembering of the sacred within you, the genius within you, the philosopher within you. As Socrates said, know thyself. And Rumi whispered, what you seek is seeking you. You didn't lose the answers. You just stopped asking the right questions. So here's one. What if nothing is wrong with you? What if you were never supposed to be perfect? What if the only thing you had to do was return? Return to presence, to listening, to me, to you. Because I promise, everything you're chasing out there, it already lives in here. Inside this moment, inside this breath, inside this quiet, trembling, tender voice that's asking one more time, are you listening now? And still, you keep waiting for someone to validate what you already know. That you're tired, that you're hurting, that you've been fighting battles no one else can see. But my dear, what if no one else is supposed to see it? What if this war was never meant to be witnessed, only survived? You are surviving. But I want more for you. I want you to live, not just exist between alarms and responsibilities, not just float through days pretending to be okay. I want you to feel again, really feel, even if it's messy, even if it aches, even if joy feels unfamiliar at first. Because you were not created to carry the weight of the world in silence. You sabotage your happiness because silence became your comfort. Because disappointment became a pattern. Because betrayal taught you to doubt the good before it even arrived. But you don't have to live in that memory anymore. You're allowed to rewrite the ending. You're allowed to choose softness without shame. You're allowed to believe that maybe, just maybe, you were meant to be whole. Do you hear me now? I am not the voice of guilt. I am the voice of truth. And truth doesn't scream. It waits. And I've been waiting for years. You drowned me out with distractions, with people who never saw you, with achievements that never filled you, with laughter that didn't reach your eyes. And yet I stayed, because I am your original self, the one who existed before comparison, before shame, before fear crawled into your chest and made a home. And now I'm asking you to come home to me. Because this isn't about goals. It isn't about fixing yourself. This is about remembering. Remembering that you were always enough. Not after the healing. Not after the weight loss. Not after the apology. Now, right here, as you are, flawed, beautiful, becoming. You've been living in a world that profits off your doubt, that teaches you to look outward, to buy happiness, to chase meaning, but none of it satisfies. Do you know why? Because the soul doesn't need much. It needs truth. It needs peace. It needs to be heard. I am your soul, and I have waited long enough. As Descartes once pondered, I think, therefore I am. But I ask you, what do you think of yourself? Because that will shape everything. Every choice, every relationship. Every moment you wake up and ask, is this it? You sabotage your joy because you don't trust your own choices anymore. Because every time you allowed yourself to hope, life knocked it out of your hands. And now you flinch at the first sign of good things because you expect them to vanish. But that's not your fate. That's your fear talking. And I am not your fear. I am your knowing, the part of you that doesn't need permission to feel whole, the part that holds memories of your childhood laughter, your dreams before they were broken, your essence before the world labeled you. Can I tell you something? You've always been worthy, even in your confusion, even in your sadness, even when you collapsed on the bathroom floor and no one knew. You were worthy, and you still are. Not because of what you do, but because of what you give. But because you exist, and that is enough. It always has been. So now I ask again, are you listening? Not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Can you feel these words inside your chest, where your truth lives? Can you pause for once not to fix, not to fight, but to feel? Because every time you ran from peace, you told yourself you were chasing ambition. But deep down, you were chasing distraction. A way to not feel the loneliness. A way to not face yourself. But here I am, and I won't leave, even when you want to. Because healing doesn't happen in straight lines. It happens in spirals, in breakdowns, in silence, in starting over and over and over. And that's okay. You're not late. You're not broken. You're not behind. You are here, and that is holy ground. So sit with me, even if it's uncomfortable, even if your mind tells you you should be doing something else. This moment is your revolution. You are revolting against everything that said your needs were too much. Everything that convinced you happiness was selfish. Everything that made you question your voice, your body, your truth. You're unlearning. You're unraveling. You're unbecoming everything you had to be to survive. And that, my love, is the most courageous thing of all. You sabotage your happiness because safety felt like control. But now, you're learning that true safety comes from trust, from softness, from presence, and I am presence. I am the moment between thoughts, the stillness between breaths, the space where the divine meets the damaged and says, you are still mine, and I am still yours. So please, don't run from me this time. Don't turn down the volume. Don't distract yourself with more noise. Listen, because this is not just a video. This is a mirror. And you are finally seeing yourself clearly. Not the version they demanded. Not the one who always says yes. Not the one who hides her rage and swallows her sorrow. No, you are seeing the real you. The radiant, the resilient, the rebellious soul who dares to feel again. So feel it all. The grief, the guilt, the gratitude. Let it wash through you. Let it teach you. Let it release you. And when the tears command, they will know this. They are sacred. They are the water that softens the soil of your soul. They are not weakness. They are truth in motion. Are you listening? Because if you are, then you're not alone anymore. You never were. You just forgot. But I remembered, and I always will. And you keep forgetting how much you've survived, how many nights you made it through, even when your chest felt too tight to breathe, how many mornings you rose again, even when you didn't want to. You keep forgetting that healing is not loud. It's not grand. Sometimes it's simply brushing your teeth when your mind says stay in bed. Sometimes it's looking in the mirror without turning away. Sometimes it's choosing to feel even when it burns. You sabotage your happiness because you've mistaken numbness for peace. You've called silence safety. You've called aloneness strength. But silence is not safety when it's keeping you from yourself. And strength is not the absence of needing anyone. Real strength is allowing yourself to be seen, to be held, to be helped, without apology, without shame. Can you hear me now? Because I'm not whispering anymore. I am speaking with every beat of your heart. I am in every ache you've ignored, every tear you've swallowed, every truth you've buried just to keep going. I am that feeling in your chest that rises when everything is quiet. I am your breath when it trembles. I am the you behind the pretending, and I am still here, still waiting, still hoping you'll finally look inward and say, I see you. I know why you run. I know why you are distracted. Because if you stop for even a moment, the silence grows loud. And in that silence, the ghosts speak. The ones you never buried. The ones you pretended didn't hurt. But you can't heal what you won't face. And you can't grow if you keep cutting the roots every time it gets uncomfortable. So let the silence speak. Let the ghosts sit with you. They don't want to hurt you. They just want to be heard. You don't need to fight them. You just need to hold them gently. Like old stories that no longer define you. Because I promise you, there's joy waiting on the other side of that pain. The kind of joy that doesn't come from achievements, not from applause, but from knowing you came home to yourself, finally, fully, without pretending. You sabotage your happiness because you've forgotten what you deserve. You've confused comfort with worth. You stayed where you were tolerated, not celebrated. And every time someone showed you less, you thought it was your fault. But it wasn't, and it never was. It was never about you being too much. It was always about them being too little. So stop shrinking. Stop folding. Stop making yourself easier to digest. You are not meant to be swallowed whole by other people's expectations. You are meant to be fully felt, fully known, fully real. As Rumi said, don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure. And your cure is not out there, not in another person, not in another goal. It's in you. In this very moment, if you're brave enough to sit in it, to stay, to listen. Socrates once said, to know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. But how will you know yourself? If you never listen to yourself, you think the answers live in books, in sermons, in therapists, in lovers. But the deepest truths, the real ones, they live here, inside you, inside me. Are you listening now? You are not broken. You are bruised, yes. Wounded, yes, but not broken. You were always whole. Even when the world chipped away pieces of your peace, your core remained untouched. But you forgot to look inside. You forgot how to come home. and I am home. Please, close your eyes. Take a breath. Not for the world, not for work, not for anyone watching. Just for you, just for us. Breathe in, breathe out. There you are. I feel you. You feel me? You remember now, don't you? That small voice, that inner calm, the guide you were born with, the compass that never points wrong, the intuition you silenced. That's me. I am not outside you. I am not a ghost. I am not imaginary. I am your knowing, your consciousness, your sacred awareness. Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you, and your wounds are not your enemy. They are doors. They are invitations. They are reminders that you have survived everything so far." Why do you sabotage joy? Because joy feels unsafe when your nervous system is wired to expect pain. Because your brain doesn't trust ease. Because comfort feels like a setup, but you can rewire. You can relearn. You can rebuild. Not out there, but in here with me. Are you listening now? Please, today, just listen. No judgment, no shame, no running, no pretending. Just let my voice sit beside you. Let these words wrap around you, like a soft blanket on a cold night, like the arms of someone who never left. Because I never left. You may have ignored me, but I never left. Even when you chased people who didn't value you. Even when you gave your heart to those who threw it back. Even when you performed happiness just to survive. I was here, quietly waiting, patiently aching, for the day you'd finally turn inward. And now you have. You're here, with me. So please, please, listen. This is the beginning. Not of something new, but of something ancient. A reunion with your own soul. A reminder that you are not the voice that says you're not good enough. You're the voice that says, I am still here. I have always been enough. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be heard. And I am listening to, we are listening to each other, and that changes everything. So tonight, let go. Let the shame go. Let the guilt go. Let the fear go. Let the mask fall off. Let your truth breathe. You are safe here. You are loved here. You are here, and I am your sanctuary, your mirror, your truth. Are you listening now? Please say yes. Please say yes. Are you listening now? Or are you still turning away from your own reflection? Still hoping someone else will love you enough to make you feel worthy? But darling, worth is not something someone else can give you. You are born with it. And no rejection, no abandonment, no failure can take it away. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who to be? Do you remember how you laughed without checking if it was too loud? Do you remember how you dreamed without limitation? You were infinite once, and you still are. But you've put yourself in a cage made of shoulds. I should be this. I should feel that. I should have done more. Burn the shoulds. Burn the shame. Burn the illusion that you have to earn rest, earn love, earn peace. These things are not rewards. They are your rights. And if you keep waiting for permission to feel them, you'll wait your whole life. So choose now. Choose to believe you don't have to sabotage what feels good just because it feels unfamiliar. Just because it feels soft. Soft is not weak. Soft is sacred. And softness is where you'll find me. I am the softness you buried beneath your armor, the light you dimmed to keep others comfortable, the voice you silenced because they told you you were too sensitive. But I say your sensitivity is a gift. Your empathy is a strength. Your depth is not a flaw. It's your foundation. Don't numb it. Don't run from it. Let it guide you back. As Carl Jung once said, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. And I want you to awaken. Not just exist, not just cope. I want you to feel life again, not from a distance, not behind a screen, but here, now, fully, raw and beautiful and terrifying and worth it, because you are worth it. And I know you don't believe it yet, but keep listening, keep breathing, keep showing up, and one day you'll say it to yourself, not with doubt, not with a question, but with the truth. I am worth it. I am enough. I am home. Can you whisper it now? Even if your voice shakes, even if you don't believe it, even if it feels like a lie, say it with me. I am worth it. I am enough. I am home again. I am worth it. I am enough. I am home. Feel it. Let it settle. Let it break you open, because this is where healing begins. Not in perfection, not in performance, but in presence, in truth, in allowing yourself to be exactly as you are. No more masks, no more pretending, no more punishing yourself for things you didn't know back then. You were doing your best. You still are. And now, for the first time, you're doing it with me, with your whole self, with your inner voice unmuted, with your soul unhidden. And if that's not happiness, then what is? And sometimes the loudest screams are the ones we never say. The aching silence that follows a smile, the stillness that hides the storm. And you've lived there, haven't you? Between the lines of what you say and what you feel, between the strength they see and the sorrow you carry. And I know it's exhausting to wear a mask that fits so perfectly, even you forget it's there. But I see you. I hear the trembling in your silence, the hesitation in your laughter, the questions you've stopped asking, because no one ever stayed long enough to answer. So you stopped asking, you stopped hoping, you stopped trusting your own voice, and you gave the steering wheel to fear, to past wounds, to the part of you that said, play it safe, don't try again. But safety is not always peace, and comfort is not always kindness. Sometimes the most dangerous place to live is inside your own avoidance. Are you still listening? Because I'm still here, still whispering the truth you try to forget. You are not your failures. You are not the people who left. You are not the mistakes you made when you didn't know any better. You are what you choose to become now. You are what you choose to believe now. And every time you deny your right to joy, you are rehearsing a lie someone else planted in your soil, and you keep watering it. But I'm here to say you can stop. You can stop believing you're too broken. You can stop believing you're too late. You can stop running from the very love you've been craving. Because self-sabotage is just fear dressed as control. It's your past saying, don't trust the light. Remember how the dark felt familiar. But comfort in the dark isn't healing, it's hiding. And you deserve more than survival. You deserve to thrive, to glow, to rise without guilt. Do you remember what it felt like to want something without apologizing for it? When did you start believing you had to earn love through pain? That you had to prove your worth through struggle? Your softness is not a weakness. It's a map back to your soul, back to the part of you that still believes, still hopes, still longs for a home within. Plato said, "The soul takes nothing with her to the next world but her education and her habits." What have you taught your soul? That it must earn rest, that joy must be temporary, that love must be painful. No, my dear self, no. Love is not meant to hurt. Real love holds, heals, sees. And if you've never felt that, it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to stop settling for less. And it begins by choosing you. Not someday, not when you're perfect, not when they come back. Now, choose you when your hands are shaking. Choose you when your heart is tired. Choose you when no one else does. Because every time you do, I get louder. I return. I become clearer. This voice inside your intuition, your wisdom, your truest self. I am not gone. I've just been buried under noise, under criticism, under the endless "you're not enough" messages. But I am still here. And I've waited patiently, even when you ignored me, even when you silenced me, even when you believed everyone but me. And I don't blame you, because when they left, when they hurt you, when they lied, you thought it was you. You thought something in you pushed them away. But no, their choices were never a reflection of your worth. They were a reflection of their wounds. And your healing does not depend on their apologies. Your peace does not require their understanding. It lives here, with me, within you. As Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." And I am your why. Not in the sense of ambition or achievement, but in the sense of self, of identity, of truth. I am why you must keep going, not for a future version of you, not for validation, but for the now, for the sacredness of this breath, this moment, this becoming. And yes, healing is not linear. Yes, some days you'll fall back into the pit. Yes, some nights you'll cry for reasons you can't name, but you will rise again. You always do. You always have. And this time you won't rise alone. You'll rise with me, with your truth, with your whole, unedited, unfiltered self. Can you feel that? That tiny flicker, that small ache of hope. It's me. It's you. It's us emerging, becoming, reclaiming every part you gave away just to be loved. You don't need to be smaller to be safe. You don't need to be quiet to be respected. You don't need to be less emotional to be taken seriously. Your feelings are not flaws. Your voice is not too much. Your dreams are not silly. They're sacred. And you've sacrificed them for long enough. You've knelt at the altar of good enough. But now it's time to rise, to build a new temple inside yourself. One made of boundaries and self-respect. One that honors your softness and your strength. And in that temple, I will be waiting, always. The real you, the raw you, the radiant you. You don't need permission anymore. You don't need them to say sorry. You don't need a reason to be happy. You just need to stop waiting for pain to validate your joy. You just need to stop preparing for heartbreak every time you smile. Because not everything will fall apart. And even if it does, you won't. Not this time. This time, you'll fall upward, into yourself, into healing, into truth. Can you hear me now? I'm not going anywhere, and I know it still hurts. Not just the moments that broke you, but the moments you broke yourself, when you knew better but still chose what burned, when you betrayed your own heart just to keep someone close, when you stayed quiet when your soul was screaming. You remember, don't you? The nights you looked in the mirror and couldn't meet your own eyes. The days you smiled so wide while falling apart inside. Those were the days you learned to abandon yourself beautifully. And I watched you. I was there, not as a voice outside you, but within, whispering, pleading, aching for you to just listen. But you didn't. You were too busy listening to the noise, to the world that told you, don't feel too much, don't want too deeply, don't dream too far. You started to believe them, that wanting more was selfish, that being emotional was weak, that your softness was dangerous. But they were wrong. And you knew it. Somewhere deep beneath the numbness, you always knew. You knew when your chest tightened at injustice. You knew when your tears fell in sacred silence. You knew when your heart ached, not just for yourself, but for everyone who ever felt unseen. And that knowing, that deep, ancient knowing, that was me. I am not just your thoughts. I am your essence, the core of what you are before the world told you what to be. You buried me under fear, under duty, under survival, but you didn't kill me. You can't kill truth. You can only ignore it. And now, look, you're tired, not just physically, but spiritually, existentially. Your soul is aching to come home, to belong, to be known by you, not by them, not by the roles you perform, but by the self you abandoned to be accepted. Come back, please, not because I am lonely, but because you are, and I am what you're missing. You seek peace in distractions, love in performances, meaning in milestones. But none of that has ever filled the silence inside. Because that silence isn't emptiness. It's me, waiting, quiet, patient, wounded but alive. Do you hear me now? Do you feel the pull of your own truth calling? The ache that never goes away no matter how much you achieve. That's me. I'm not the pain. I'm the part of you that knows it doesn't have to hurt like this. That you don't have to keep choosing pain to prove you're strong. That you don't have to earn the right to rest. That love isn't something you barter, for it's something you remember. Remember who you were before they told you who to be. Remember the child who danced for no reason, who spoke to the sky, who asked questions no one could answer. I am that child, still here, still curious, still tender, still dreaming. And yes, life was cruel. They mocked your joy, they punished your softness, they laughed at your dreams. So you hardened, you built walls, you wore masks. You told yourself it was safer this way, but safe doesn't mean alive. And you're not really living. On autopilot, checking boxes, nodding at conversations, but inside you are screaming. And I hear it. So, again, I ask, are you listening now? Because this is not a rehearsal. This is your one wild, precious life. And you are wasting it being who you think they want you to be, instead of becoming who you were always meant to be. Rumi once said, don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure. But it only becomes your cure when you face it, not when you hide it, not when you drown it in productivity, not when you cover it in toxic positivity, but when you sit with it, honestly, bravely, when you hold your own heart and say, I see you. I'm sorry. I'm here now. Can you say that to yourself? Say it. Now, out loud or in silence. I see you. I'm sorry. I'm here now. Not to me. To you. To the parts of you you've neglected. To the dreams you called foolish. To the feelings you buried. Because healing doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with presence. It begins with being here. Fully, without pretense, without performance, without judgment. You don't need to be healed to be worthy of love. You don't need to be fearless to be brave. You don't need to have all the answers to begin asking better questions. You just need to listen. To me. To you. To the truth that's been patiently waiting beneath all the noise, beneath all the shame, beneath all the pretending. And I promise, when you truly hear me, you'll start to recognize the lies you've been living, the borrowed beliefs, inherited fears, the chains disguised as traditions. You'll begin to unlearn, to unravel, to unbecome everything you were never meant to be. And in that unraveling, you'll remember how it feels to breathe. Really breathe? To look in the mirror and not flinch. To speak and mean it, to choose and own it. You'll find power, not in control, but in surrender. Not in having it all together, but in finally falling apart. Because falling apart isn't the end. It's the return to truth, to self. To me, so fall. Fall into yourself. I'll catch you. Not with answers, but with space. Space to grieve, space to grow, space to become. Because I am not here to fix you. I am you. And I don't need fixing. I need remembering. I need listening. I need love. Not from them, but from you. Because no one can give you what you keep denying yourself. So please, stop running. Stop waiting. Stop hoping someone else will save you from the pain you refuse to face. Come back. Sit with me. Feel the ache. And then feel what's beneath it. Your pulse, your purpose, your presence. You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still becoming. Are you listening now? And still you wait for permission, for a sign, for someone to finally look you in the eyes and say, you're allowed now, go live. But no one is coming, not because you're not worthy, but because it was never their job. It's always been yours. Only you can give yourself that permission. Only you can decide that enough is enough, that you will no longer betray yourself for the comfort of others, that you will no longer water yourself down just to fit into spaces too small for your soul. Do you see how long you've been shrinking? How long you've been folding yourself into corners, apologizing for your own light? But your light was never too much. And that is not your fault. It never was. But you made it your burden. You wore your difference like a scar. You blamed your sensitivity, your dreams, your intensity, as if those were flaws, as if being fully alive was something to be ashamed of. When in truth, that is your gift. You feel deeply because you are meant to connect deeply. You think endlessly because your mind was designed for meaning. You ache because your heart is awake, and awake hearts are rare. They are miracles in a world obsessed with numbness. So do not numb. Please don't. Not again. Not this time. I know it's tempting to scroll until your brain forgets how to feel, to binge until your soul is silent, to pretend until you forget who you are. But pretending is killing you slowly, and you know it. There's a quiet grief you carry, the grief of abandoning yourself, of watching your reflection fade from something real to something tolerable. And tolerable is not a life. It's survival. It's exile. It's a cage wrapped in gold. And I know you want to be free. You always have. Not just free in the world, but free inside. Free from the voice that says you're not enough. Free from the memory that whispers you'll always be broken. Free from the fear that says you'll never be loved as you are. But that freedom isn't found in doing more. It's found in being more present, more honest, more raw, more you. Do you even remember what that means? To be you? Not the you who perform, not the you who pleases, but the you who breathes with wonder, who cries without shame, who creates without waiting for applause. That version of you still exists, underneath all the layers, beneath the defenses, behind the masks, and I see them, even when you don't. And they are tired of hiding, tired of silence, tired of waiting for your permission. So say it now. Say it again, out loud or inside. I give myself permission to be fully, painfully, beautifully me. Yes, that's it.
Again.
I give myself permission. Because only you can break the cycle. Only you can rescue the child within who still flinches when love comes too close. Only you can stop the sabotage, the patterns, the self-hate dressed up as discipline, the overthinking disguised as wisdom, the fear masquerading as logic. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be real. You need to be here with me, with yourself. Because I have waited so long to be held by your presence, to be chosen by you. And yes, it will hurt. Growth always does. Truth always does. But it is a sacred pain, not the kind that destroys, the kind that awakens, the kind that purifies, Nietzsche said. One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. And you are full of stars, hidden in your chaos, trapped behind your fear, waiting to be born. So let the chaos come. Don't fear it. Welcome it. Let it tear down the illusions, the roles, the lies. Let it break the mirrors you've been staring into, hoping to find someone else. You are not someone else. You are you, and that is more than enough, even when you feel lost. Especially when you feel lost, because being lost is the beginning of being found. But only if you stop running, only if you sit still long enough to hear the truth in your own bones. I'm speaking from there, from the marrow, from the soul, not as your enemy, but as your truth, your clarity, your sanity. I am the voice you drowned out with busyness, with noise, with people who never saw you, with dreams that were never yours, but I've never left. Not for a second. I just grew quieter because you stopped believing in me. You stopped believing in yourself. But belief is not something you find. It's something you build, brick by sacred brick, choice by sacred choice. You build it by showing up, by being honest, by trying again even after you fall. And yes, you will fall. You will doubt. You will cry in the middle of the night and wonder if you're insane for even trying. But you're not. You're remembering, and remembering hurts. It hurts to see how much of your life you spent asleep. How many times you said yes when you meant no. How many years you spent outside your own life, watching it like a stranger. But you're here now. You're breathing now. You're choosing now. So don't stop. Don't turn back. Don't settle. This is not the end. This is the edge. The edge of a life lived awake, of a soul finally heard, of a heart finally claimed. So take one more breath, deep, honest. Oh, yours. And say it again. I'm still here. I'm still listening. I'm still becoming. And if you're still here, if even a small part of you is still breathing with me, then listen more closely now. Because this moment isn't ordinary. This silence between us holds weight, holds truth, holds the version of you that has been knocking from the inside for far too long. Are you listening now? Please, listen to me. This isn't noise. This is your own soul speaking in your own voice. The one you buried beneath obligation, beneath shame, beneath the lie that said you must earn love by being small. You don't need to shrink anymore. Not for them. Not for me. Not even for the fragile voice in your head that trembles every time you consider being real. Because that voice, it isn't your enemy. It's the younger you. The wounded you trying to protect you. But that protection is no longer necessary. You've grown stronger than you think. You've become a home that no longer needs to hide from the storm. You are the shelter now. You are the storm too. And I know the weight you carry, the one you hide behind your smile, the grief you never gave permission to be felt, the dreams you packed into boxes labeled unrealistic, the parts of yourself you only visit in dreams. Why did you stop dreaming awake? Why did you trade your imagination for safety? Why did you call it growing up when really you were just learning to disappear? Don't disappear again. Don't vanish beneath the expectations of others. Don't quiet yourself because the world forgot how to listen. I am still listening. I never stopped. Even when you screamed into the void. Even when you whispered into your pillow at night, asking, "Is anyone out there?" Yes, someone is out here. I am. You are. We are both here. And that is not a small thing. That is a miracle. Because surviving what you've survived is no accident. There is a reason your heart still beats with defiance. A reason your breath still finds its way through the chaos. A reason your soul hasn't given up on you even when you did. You were meant to hear this. Not because I am wise, but because you are ready. Ready to stop running. Ready to stop punishing yourself for being human. Ready to take back the voice you gave away in pieces. And you gave it away, didn't you? Bit by bit, moment by moment. Until one day, you couldn't even remember what you sounded like without the filter of fear. You looked into the mirror and didn't recognize the person blinking back. So you stopped looking, stopped asking, stopped feeling. But your feelings, they are your compass. They are not weakness. They are signals, maps, invitations back to yourself. Oh, so feel now. Yes, right now. Whatever comes, grief, anger, joy, shame, let it come. I promise you this, none of it will destroy you. What destroys you is the pretending, the faking, the silence, the numbness you call being okay. You were not made to be okay. You were made to be alive, fully, ferociously, softly, wildly. And that means messy, that means inconsistent, that means brave in the way. Trembling hands are still brave when they reach for hope. Do you feel it? That faint pulse in your chest waking up? That voice inside growing louder? It's not a hallucination. It's you. It's always been you. and this voice you're hearing now. I'm not a stranger. I'm the you that never left. The inner voice you tried to mute but couldn't kill. And now you're remembering. Remembering who you were before the world taught you who to be. Before love became a transaction. Before joy required justification. Before you thought silence was safer than expression. Speak now. Not to them. To you. Say something real. Even if it's just, I'm scared. Especially if it's that. Say it. Because there is power in truth. Even when it trembles. Even when it breaks. Leonard Cohen said, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. So don't seal the cracks. Don't hide your fractures. They are the entry point. They are sacred. They are proof you have lived. You've lived through loneliness, through rejection, through nights that felt endless, through voices that told you you'd never make it. But you did. You're here. And that matters. That is evidence of your strength, not the kind that yells, the kind that endures, that waits, that breathes under rubble. And now the rubble is lifting. Can you feel it? The air returning to your lungs, the light tracing your edges again. Not someone else's light. Your light. You, unfiltered, unapologetic. And yes, you might lose people. You might confuse them. They might say you've changed. But isn't that the point? You weren't born to stay the same. You weren't created to repeat someone else's story. You were meant to write your own, in ink and sweat and truth. So write it. Start again, from wherever you are, from whatever is real. And if all that's real is this aching in your chest, then begin from there. Begin from the ache. Begin from the doubt. Begin from the longing. Because longing is a compass too. And right now, it's pointing you back. Back to yourself. Back to this voice. This breath, this moment. You're not late. You're not broken. You're not beyond redemption. You are in process. You are transforming. You are finally becoming the person you kept hiding under layers of survival. Are you listening now? Please today listen to me. Not because I am perfect, but because I am you, and you are still here, and that is more than enough. And if you're still breathing, even if it's shallow, even if it's heavy, then let that breath remind you that you're still alive, not just existing, but capable of change, of healing, of becoming. You don't need to fix everything right now. You just need to be here, with me, with you, with the voice you've forgotten how to trust, because this voice is not foreign. It's the one that held you in the quiet, in the cold, in the in-between spaces where no one else dared to look. Do you remember those nights? The ones where the world seemed to close its eyes and you stayed wide awake. Not because you wanted to, but because your mind wouldn't stop spinning, asking, pleading, wondering if anyone could see the weight you carried so silently. But I saw it. I still see it. You've been carrying more than your share. Others' expectations, their disappointments, their projections, their versions of you that never truly fit. And all this time you've been bending, twisting, adapting, just to be accepted, just to avoid abandonment. But my dear, can I tell you something now? Something you need to hear? Maybe for the first time in your life. You don't need to earn love. You never did. Your worth was never a negotiation, never a currency, never a checklist of traits that made you enough. You are already enough. Not because you did something spectacular, but because you exist, because your heart still beats with intention, because your soul still whispers truth, even when drowned in noise. And I know the noise has been loud lately. I know the silence feels heavier than words. I know how exhausting it is to keep showing up, to keep pretending, to keep wearing the mask of strength when all you want is to rest, to breathe, to stop performing. So stop now, just for a moment. Stop pretending. Put down the mask. Let the tears fall if they come. Let the ache speak if it must. This is your safe space, your home, your truth. Do you hear it? That still, small voice rising from the depths. It's you. It's always been you. And I have never stopped waiting for you to return, to come back from the numbness, from the escape, from the places you went to hide from your own light. Why did you run from your light? Why did you believe the lie that you were too much, or not enough, or both at once? You were never too much for the right people. You were never not enough for love. Those who made you feel that way were only mirrors of their own emptiness. And you absorbed their shadows as if they were your own, but they never belonged to you. Give them back. Give back the shame, the guilt, the comparisons, the need to prove your worth every single day. You are worthy when you wake up. You are worthy when you fail. You are worthy when you fall apart. You are worthy when you're quiet, messy, unsure. Don't let anyone redefine your identity. Not parents, not partners, not society, not your past. Because you, my dear, are not your past. You are not your wounds, not your regrets, not your darkest thoughts. You are the awareness watching them. You are the sky holding every storm, and storms pass. They always do, but the sky remains vast, unchanged. Free. So let yourself be the sky. Let the pain come and go like rain. Let the memories rise and fall like clouds. Don't cling. Don't fight. Just witness. Because witnessing is healing. Because being present with your truth, even when it hurts, is the doorway to freedom. And freedom doesn't come from perfection. It comes from acceptance, from radical, raw, unapologetic acceptance of everything you are. Can you accept yourself today? Not the future version of you. Not the healed, successful, glowing version. Just you, as you are, right now. With the scars, with the fear, with the mess, with the questions. Because even in your questioning, even in your trembling, you are sacred. And no part of you is too broken to be loved. Please hear me now. Hear me like you've never heard me before. This is not a performance. This is not a script. This is your life. This is your voice. This is your second chance at first love, the love of self. And if you're scared, that's okay. Fear is part of growth. Fear is the gatekeeper of transformation. We feel it, hold it, walk with it, but don't let it drive. You are not your fear. You are the one walking through it. You are the one choosing to stay awake when sleep would be easier. You are the one opening your eyes when they burn. You are the one choosing to listen. Finally, to the one voice that always wanted your highest good. And I am still here, still whispering, still holding the truth you left behind. Do you remember who you were before the world convinced you to forget? A child who laughed too loudly, who danced without rhythm, who asked too many questions, who believed love was simple and joy was allowed. That child is still inside, still waiting, still whole, not gone, not lost, just waiting to be invited back. Invite them now. Tell them they are safe, that they don't have to earn your approval, that they can come out of hiding because you are not the jailer anymore. You are the liberator. You are the one who gets to rewrite the ending. You are the author. And this chapter can begin with softness, with grace, with truth. So write it with your breath, with your tears, with your voice. Say it out loud if you must. I forgive myself for all the ways I abandoned me. Say it again, let it echo, let it settle. Because forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is returning. Forgiveness is homecoming. And you, my dear, are coming home now, not to a place, not to a person, but to yourself, to the one who never left, to the one who always loved you. To me, your voice, your truth, your own sacred self. Are you listening now? Please listen to me, because I am not your enemy. I am not your doubt. I am not your past. I am your guide, your inner light, your clarity in the fog. I am you, the you that never gave up, even when everything else did. And I am proud of you for showing up, for staying, for listening, for remembering, for becoming again and again and again. And if you're still listening, then maybe, just maybe, you're beginning to remember that everything you needed was never out there. It was always right here, beneath the noise, beneath the shame, beneath the scripted laughter and the rehearsed strength you wore like armor. You don't need armor with me. You don't need to smile when your soul is aching. You don't need to pretend you've healed when you're still bleeding inside. This is the place where pretending dies and honesty breathes. This is where masks fall and truth stands naked and unafraid. Can you feel it? That quiet stirring, that almost imperceptible ache behind your ribs. That's not weakness. That's your spirit waking up, stretching, reaching for the pieces of you that you thought you had lost. You never lost them. They were buried under survival, under all the shoulds and musts and not enoughs. The world forced into your mouth. But now you are here, and I am here. And together we can begin again. You and I, we are not separate. We are not strangers. We are not opposites. I am not the enemy within. I am the home you forgot to return to. Steady presence that never once judged you, even when you did the judging yourself. Do you remember all the things you blamed yourself for? The times you said yes when you wanted to scream no. The moments you laughed when you wanted to cry. The nights you stayed when you knew you should have left. I remember them too, and I never blamed you. I saw your heart, your trembling hands, your desperation to be loved, your willingness to shrink just to be seen. And now I ask you, was that love? Was that really love? To silence yourself for someone else's comfort? To disappear so another could feel whole? Love is not measured by how much of yourself you erase. Love does not demand self-abandonment. Love does not ask you to dim your light so others don't feel blind. I want you to know this. I need you to know this. Your light is not offensive. Your voice is not too loud. Your truth is not a threat. And if someone made you feel that way, it was never about you. It was about their fear of their own shadows, their inability to hold a soul as raw and real as yours. But you don't need to carry their fear anymore. You don't need to adopt their limits as your destiny. You are allowed to outgrow the people who taught you to hate yourself. You are allowed to walk away from the places where your spirit couldn't breathe. And I know walking away is hard. I know it feels like betrayal. I know it feels like failure, but it's not. It's liberation. It's remembering that loyalty to yourself is not disloyalty to others. Are you listening now? Can you hear the words between the lines? I'm not just telling you you're enough. I'm telling you you are sacred, that your pain is not in vain, that your tears were prayers, that your silence was not empty. It was holy. It was survival. It was wisdom dressed in stillness. And now that you're listening again, can I ask you something? Why did you stop writing? Why did you stop singing? Why did you stop dancing in the kitchen when no one was watching? Do you remember how alive you felt in those moments? How pure, how connected. You didn't need applause then. You didn't need validation. You didn't ask for permission. You just were, and it was enough. And you were whole. I miss that version of you. But more importantly, you miss that version of you. The one before the world made you forget. And I'm not asking you to go back. There's no going back, only forward. But bring that childlike wonder with you. Bring that unfiltered laughter. Bring that messy joy. Because healing isn't sterile. It's not neat or tidy. It's chaotic. It's wild. It's screaming in your car at red lights. It's laughing and crying in the same breath. It's losing your way and realizing you never really needed a map. You just needed to trust your own compass. And that compass lives here, in this voice, in this moment, in this stillness. You don't need more books. You don't need more quotes. You don't need another self-help guru telling you how to fix your life. You need you. You need to listen. Not just hear, but truly listen, because I've been trying to reach you for years. In your dreams, in your headaches, in the weight on your chest, in the pit in your stomach, when you ignored what your soul was begging for. I was there. I am still here. And I will not leave. Even when you try to run, even when you numb out, even when you pretend everything's fine. But I'm asking you, don't pretend anymore. Don't fake smile your way through another day. Don't swallow your truth just to keep the peace, because peace without truth is just silence. And silence without meaning is just absence. But this silence, this one here, with me is sacred. This silence is presence. This silence is a bridge back to you, back to breath, back to becoming. So breathe now, not just to survive. Breathe to arrive. Breathe to return. Breathe to reclaim the parts of you you were told were too soft, too sensitive, too much. Softness is strength. Sensitivity is power. And being too much just means the world wasn't ready for someone so real. But I am ready. You are ready. You wouldn't be here otherwise. You wouldn't be listening this far unless something inside you knew that it was time to choose yourself, time to stop waiting for rescue. Time to stop outsourcing your worth, because you are not a problem to solve. You are not a wound to hide. You are not a failure in need of fixing. You are a soul awakening. You are a heart unfolding. You are a truth finally being spoken aloud. And if your voice shakes, let it shake. If your hands tremble, let them tremble. This is not weakness. This is birth. This is the beginning. This is the becoming. This is the moment you say, I will not abandon myself again. Say it now. Say it again. Say it until your cells remember. Say it until your shadow stops flinching. Say it until your reflection stops looking like a stranger. Because this is how we return. Not all at once, but breath by breath, word by word, truth by truth. You are coming home, and I am here, always whispering, always waiting. Are you listening now? And maybe this is what you've been searching for all along. Not a fix, not an answer, not even happiness, but rest, a place to finally rest, to exhale the years you held your breath just to survive, to lay down the armor, to stop performing, to be human again, to be whole again. And I know wholeness sounds like a myth, something written in someone else's story, something other people get to feel, but not you. Not the one who broke so many times you stopped counting. Not the one who was left, forgotten, dismissed, doubted. Not the one who kept giving until empty felt like home. But listen carefully. You were never broken. You were building. With every scar, every ache, every I can't do this anymore whispered into the dark. You were building the version of you that knows how to stay, that knows how to sit with sorrow without drowning in it, that knows how to love without losing themselves in the process. And yes, your love was too much for people who never learned how to receive. And yes, your depth scared those who only knew how to swim in the shallow end. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're rare. It means your love is not meant to be edited down to fit someone else's comfort. And I know you're tired of healing, tired of hurting, tired of holding it together when all you want to do is fall apart. So fall if you must, but fall into softness, into stillness, into safety, because you've made it here. And that means you're allowed to rest now. You're allowed to feel safe now. You're allowed to come home, not to a place, but to a feeling, to yourself. And if the world never told you before, let me tell you now, I'm proud of you. Not because you were perfect, not because you got everything right, but because you stayed when it would have been easier to disappear. You kept showing up, even when no one saw, even when no one clapped, even when the pain was louder than the hope. You stayed, and that matters more than you'll ever know. So if this is the last thing I ever get to say to you, let it be this: I forgive you for all the ways you tried to survive, for all the masks you wore, for all the times you didn't know better. And I love you. Not the pretend you, not the you others expected, but the real you, the trembling, beautiful, unfinished, fiercely feeling, radically alive. You, the you that's still healing, still hoping, still trying. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry no one told you sooner that you didn't have to earn love, that you didn't have to apologize for existing, that your softness wasn't weakness, that your voice deserved to be heard, that your heart was always enough. But now you know. Now you remember. Now you can stop running, because the search is over, and you are already home. So rest, beloved. Rest and let the world wait. You have come too far. You have felt too deep. You have bled too quietly. It's time. Time to begin again. Not as someone else. Not as who they wanted you to be, but as you, fully, gently, powerfully. You? And if you ever forget, if you ever slip, if you ever fall silent again, just return here to this voice, this breath, this stillness, and I'll be waiting. I will always be waiting because I am you and I never left.